they dominated Penn State. They took the will from Penn State.
I still believe J.J. McCarthy could be the best Michigan quarterback that ever has worn that helmet.
Michigan can win any type of game. They always seem to close the game.
Dominance by the Michigan Wolverines. And I just, this team has everything right now. They're everything right now. 418 yards rushing for the Michigan Wolverines against the number 5th ranked rushing defense in the country. What did you learn about the Michigan? We asked this on Friday during Fill in the Blank Friday.
Yep.
What will you learn about the Michigan Wolverines against Penn State? What did you learn on Saturday? Penn State, Michigan, 41-17. My goodness.
What I learned is that, Blake Corum has a chance to win the Heisman, but he's not the best running back on the team. Donovan Edwards is somebody that you've talked about for a very long time. He's special. I think Donovan Edwards is the most special player on the Michigan Wolverines team. Running the ball, being able to dominate, controlling it. You want to run the ball in October, November. That's when it starts to get cold. That's when the weather starts to get bad. That's when you got to have your running game intact. I saw an offensive line who last year was the number 1 offensive line in the country. They won the award, rightfully so. I saw them get better this year. I saw them get better on Saturday. They dominated Penn State. They took the will from Penn State on the offensive side of the ball. I'm talking about every time you saw a run, you saw guys getting pushed back, defensive linemen 5, 6, 7 yards before Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards on their big runs were even getting touched, and some they didn't get touched on. But also just the defensive side. I saw a team. You see in the first half, and I was in the suite, and it's funny being a former player versus just being with fans. Because every moment you guys are nervous. Every moment it bothers you. So when, the bad tip, double doink interception for a touchdown, and then the Sean Clifford run, which is the only play that they had of the day, everybody, oh man, Michigan. I said, relax. I said, Michigan is dominating this game. I said, just watch it unfold in the second half. And what you're watching Michigan do, whether it's in Iowa at Kinnick Stadium, whether it's at the Big House against Penn State, Michigan can win any type of game. They always seem to close the games. Like, that's what you want to see out of a championship team, is being able to close those games in the second half. And I think they're doing a tremendous job of that. They're beating the teams in front of them, and they're looking better each week. Now, that red zone offense stinks. The red zone offense stinks, but that's the only gripe that I have against this Michigan team, is they got to fix that red zone offense. But, man, they're flying around on defense. And I know they only had 2 sacks, but that's not the reflection of the pressure and how they got after Sean Clifford. Sean Clifford was under duress the whole game.
I DVR'd the game because I was going to be out in Bowling Green. Came back and watched it, and I busted your chops early when they threw that interception. And I'm like, what happened to your J.J. McCarthy? And you said, relax, Maz, relax. But I wanted to ask you, you still have confidence in him?
Without question.
Why?
And what do you... Well, there were a couple of plays in that game, and in one in which he rolled out and threw a dart on the sideline. That was something that you can't.
Cade McNamara made a couple of those throws.
He wouldn't have made that.
I'm just saying.
I know, but let me tell you this much. In we are at the point in the season where it doesn't matter, right? I mean, you want to pick out J.J. McCarthy takes, even the Corum Edwards. We are at a point in the season where this team is 7-0, and they are most likely, no disrespect to Michigan State, it's a rivalry game, but most likely they're going to pop up in Columbus as 11-0. We are witnessing a complete football team that, yes, does have to get better, but this football team can win the national championship. I said it earlier this month. I think the quarterback is doing what he needs to do. And you can go back, yes, I still believe J.J. McCarthy could be the best Michigan quarterback that ever has worn that helmet in Ann Arbor. But he is a sophomore. He's got some work to do. But when you look at rushing the ball, 418, if you are going to gash a team for 418 yards on the ground, why in the world would you not just take advantage of that? You can tell me, McNamara would do that, and maybe he would have, but I'll tell you this much, I don't even care. Who's catching the ball? I don't care. Who's running the ball? I don't care. Who's throwing the ball? I don't care. The bottom line is they are getting the job done as a team. They are doing this thing together now as a team. And to me, that's all I care about at this point.
J.J. McCarthy has 5 interceptions, and 3 of them are tip passes for interception. That pass that had the tip pick for 6 in the game this past weekend was a knockdown ball that bounced off the defensive lineman's hand and then bounced off the helmet of a Penn State player and was intercepted. It wasn't just poor read, wasn't a poor throw. It was one of those situations. J.J. McCarthy is doing exactly what Michigan is putting him in position to do. Maz, if you're going to ask a question, look as I tell you. They are putting him in the position to do exactly what he's doing. They're running the ball, and they're only asking him to throw zero screens. Every once in a while, they're asking him to roll out and maybe hit a comeback, like he did the play that Ryan's talking about on the sideline. That team and JJ is going to be good. He's doing what they're asking him to do. Michigan Harbaugh, Weiss, and Sharon Moore, they're not asking him to be Bryce Young and throw for 455 yards. They're not asking him to be Hendon Hooker and throw for 385 yards and 4 touchdowns. They're not conducting the offense like that. They're asking him to be a manager. They're asking him to use his feet at times, be elusive a little bit, and they're asking him to depend on Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, and that offensive line for the University of Michigan. He's doing exactly what Jim Harbaugh wants him to.
And, McCarthy's going to get a lot of the, why don't you throw? I mean, come on. They just beat up on this football team. In the schedule, we talked about this, and just a point that you made earlier, because you're making a lot of great points. I'm trying to go back and remember them as you make them. But Michigan was dominating that game. And there were 2 lucky plays.
Yeah.
They got 2 lucky plays, and that just couldn't keep up. You weren't going to keep up on that. I tweeted out Michigan was going to win this game by 3 touchdowns, and people were laughing at me. And look, you watched the game, and you saw the complete dominance by the Michigan Wolverines. And I just this team has everything right now. They're everything right now.
Look at the Georgia Bulldogs last year. That team, they won the national championship. They beat the hell out of Michigan. They played a tough game against Alabama. They got their revenge for the SEC championship. Stetson Bennett IV was the quarterback. Now, this year he has a couple 300-yard passing games, but not last year. Last year, they asked Stetson Bennett to do a certain thing. It said, listen, we're going to play to our defense, which is the best in the country. We're going to run the ball with Cook, Dalvin Cook's younger brother. We're going to pass to Brockers, our tight end, and then we'll throw passes to George Pickens here and there once he's healthy. They asked him not to lose the game, but every once in a while, use some of that athleticism that had you the #1 baseball player in the state of Georgia when he was coming out of high school. Same thing with J.J. McCarthy. Hey, look, man, we got a defense that's flying around. We got 2 of the best backs in the country. We are the #1 running back in terms of Blake Corum in the country, the best offensive line. Hey, just don't lose the game. We'll put you in good spots. Just take it, pay attention to where we put you and operate accordingly. Mm-hmm. Same thing that Georgia did with Stetson Bennett IV last year is the same thing Jim Harbaugh is doing with J.J. McCarthy this year.
And I thought, Jim Harbaugh coached a great game. Not a good game, a great game on Saturday. And again, you could talk about all the Michigan haters out there. Oh, J.J. McCarthy this, and he's a game manager, and McNamara could have been a game manager. It doesn't matter. At this point in the season, you are doing what you have to do to win the game. You play to win the game, to use a phrase from the great Herm Edwards, and that's what they needed to do to win that specific game. It might be different this week. Maybe Michigan State sails out to stop the run, and you force them to win through the air. It doesn't matter.
The same thing happened last year. We didn't know Cade McNamara could throw the ball until he needed to against Michigan State. They had to be able to pass the ball, and they did so. Listen, with Michigan, you hit the nail on the head. It's hate. When it comes to the block M, whether it's whoever, whether it's Michigan State fans, whether it's Penn State fans, whether it's Ohio State fans, whether it's pundits, whether whoever it is, it's always, hey, Ryan and my first 2 games of the year, Michigan beats Colorado State and Hawaii. Oh my God, why are they playing the schedule? Then they beat Connecticut. Oh my God, the schedule sucks. They don't know who their quarterback is. Why are they operating like this? Then you come against Maryland. You beat Maryland. Oh, they let Maryland throw the ball on them. It's always an excuse, but you know what hasn't changed in those excuses? Michigan winning. They found a way to beat Maryland. They found a way to beat Iowa at Kinnick, which is a tough place to play. Oh, well, Iowa's not that good this year. Then they struggled against Indiana. They found a way to beat Indiana on the road. Penn State. They found a way to beat the brakes off of Penn State. Michigan is finding ways to win games and close games out. And you know what? I'm shut up talking. They're doing a good job.
But they did last year as well. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but I just think that they're a better team this year than they were a year ago.
I hope you're right.
And I think their quarterback can make plays. One play in which he ran for a first down on a 3rd down that Cade McNamara wouldn't have been able to do. And again, just wait. He'll make a play when he needs to make a play.
No, hold on. I even do you one better, Maz. You keep talking about Cade McNamara last year. How about this? Last year with Cade, the Nebraska game, we were nervous that Michigan was going to lose. That Wisconsin game, we were nervous that they had a chance to lose. The Penn State game at Happy Valley, we were nervous until Eric All made that catch. Name me one time this year you've been nervous with JJ and this Michigan team.
I have not. But again, I think if Michigan fans within themselves, and I'm just speaking to Michigan fans here, if Michigan fans are still talking about Cade versus JJ or any other individual players at this point, I think it's just unnecessary. Michigan football is 7-0, and they are winning as a team. And every player is doing the most with their opportunity. And I just can't wait to see how this thing plays out. This is a very exciting time to be a Michigan football fan.